Hello there, very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us here on Ideal World. This is one of my favourite shows where we get to team up with a huge brand. We're talking Planet Cruise. If you're ever thinking of going on a cruise, that has got to be the first place to go. The first website you need to be looking at, the first phone you want to call is Planet Cruise. Now tonight we're going to bring you 6 different cruises. There's a little bit of everything here. So whether you're thinking of doing a local cruise or you're thinking of getting on a plane and going somewhere exotic, we've got something, and I'm talking really exotic, we've got something available for everyone. Now, I'm glad to tell you, I'm not your expert this evening. We've got Paul with us, who's actually worked on the ships. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
Maybe before we get going, you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your time at sea.
Yeah, sure. I lived and worked on board as a shore excursion manager for about 10 years, working for one of the main cruise lines. So I'm very, very lucky to have worked all over the planet, been off ashore and explored all of these ports of call. And also now, with my time at Planet Cruise, I get a lot of time on board all of the major cruise lines and also river cruise operators as well.
Oh, fantastic. Now, you said one of the big cruise lines. So which cruise line did you work for?
I worked for P&O.
Oh, we've got P&O on the show.
Yes, yeah.
In fact, we're going to open with P&O. That's going to be our first one. So you've really got first-hand experience.
Yeah, and I think that's the same with anybody who works at Planet Cruise. We all know, we've been on these ships. We've got collectively years of experience with all of these cruise operators that we work with. So I'm happy to share our knowledge with anybody who wants to book with ourselves.
Great. And I know we've got 6 cruises lined up. Have you got anything that the customer should be listening out for?
Yeah, we've got cruises up to the Norwegian Fjords, which is a fantastic introduction to the world of to ocean cruising. We've got a fantastic cruise over to Niagara Falls, and also a Caribbean cruise, which we've got blended in with that as well. So it's a nice little overland and an ocean cruise. We've got a river cruise being the fastest cruise sector of the cruise market within the UK. Yeah. So everybody wants a piece of that. And also we've got some fantastic cruises on and around the Med, one of which is on a ship which is fresh out of the box, all shiny and new, which we're going to be talking about tonight. Fantastic.
So, whether you've cruised or never cruised before, keep your ears open, listen to all the information shared with you. I cruised myself. Not just a holiday maker, I'm talking about working on the ships, and I always said there isn't a bad cruise line, it's always about finding the line that's right for you. And if you listen to the information that we share with you this evening, we'll find one for you. Now, we are going to go to P&O first of all. Let's take a moment to look around the ship and find out a little. What can you tell us about P&O themselves?
P&O, purpose-built for the British market, absolutely phenomenal at what they actually do. Some fantastic ships within the fleet. The entertainment is specifically geared to British passengers. They know the clientele, they know the palate which they're going to be catering for. And with this particular one, we're going to be taking you up to a 7-night springtime cruise up in the fjords on P&O's mighty Azura. Now, the great thing is with this, the time of the year which we're taking you up, with this date on the 29th of April, or on or around about that time, it's a perfect time to get up there. But let's not talk about the itinerary too much. Look at the ship itself.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, she's the 3rd largest ship, beg your pardon, the 2nd largest ship in the P&O fleet. Carries around about 3,000 passengers on board. There's a myriad of different eateries which you've got on board. Fantastic West End, Las Vegas style production shows which you'll be catering when you're on board the ship. And let's not forget, your price which you're going to be paying means that you're on a full board basis as well. So breakfast, lunch, even meals, afternoon tea, 11sies, chocoholics, you name it, they've got on board the ship.
Have you been on this ship?
Yeah, recently we took my mum on for her 70th birthday. We took her on board. And she is a stunning piece of kit.
Your mum or the...
I'll pass on your regards.
I'm just being cheeky, viewers. I'm just being cheeky.
So looking at the itinerary which she's doing, I think the great thing is with this, she's in and out of Southampton. So basically what that means is you don't have to worry about any weight restrictions. You can get yourself down to Southampton. We have a fantastic deal and offer where you can actually stay in a hotel the night prior to actually joining the ship, which works out at about £95 per person. That includes breakfast, car parking for the duration of your cruise, and then the transfers to the ship and also bringing you back on board. So we set sail from Southampton, and the first port of call which we're shooting up to, and I have to be very careful with my pronunciation here, we've got a day at sea to climatise ourselves, to get our bearings, and then we arrive into the port of Hangsnund. Hangsnund, that's how you pronounce it.
Wow.
It's a relatively young, very vibrant city which you've got there. Not a big population, around about 35,000 people which they've actually got there. Where the ship docks, she docks slap bang in the centre of where you need to be. So by all means, you can go off ashore and explore independently.
So you can just wander in, can you?
Yeah, very easy for you to do so for that one there. So that's Hansnund, the first port of call which we've
Gorgeous.
got. Then Azura makes her way up to Flam. Now, the scenery which you're going to be seeing as you sail in and out of Flam is absolutely breathtaking. As I mentioned before, this time of the year you'll find that all the glaciers are starting to melt, so you have all of these thundering waterfalls. The Seven Sisters is one of the main waterfalls which everybody tends to look out for. Flam is home to one of the most incredible journeys which has been mentioned by Lonely Planet, the train journey which they actually have there. It's about a 20-kilometre train journey which you've got, well worth your time, which you've actually got inshore in Flam. Now, back on board the ship, we then set sail. So we've sailed in through Arnsfjord. We're now sailing out of Arlandsfjord. So this really is the time for those passengers who've booked a balcony or an ocean view cabin. This is really when it comes into play, because you will be able to sit out on your own private balcony and drink in some of this fantastic scenery as the ship slowly sails out. And she has to do it slowly because of the fuel emissions which you've got. So a great opportunity for you to take plenty of snaps as you're making your way out of Arnsfjord.
Olden's looking gorgeous as well.
On to Songfjord, which again is another cruise which we're actually going through, and then we arrive into Olden. Now, Olden is a beautiful port of call. Again, it's got on the wildest stretch of coast in Stad. A very pretty, picture-perfect port of call for you to go off and about. Yeah. We've been into Olden, and then we make our way out of Olden into Inkenfjorden. So again, a chance for you to appreciate your balcony up on the open decks. It's taken some of the scenery through Nordfjord, and then we arrived the following day on day 6 into Bergen.
Oh, I love Bergen.
Now, Bergen is a really pretty port of call, an explosion of colours with those fantastic buildings which lick the harbour side. Yeah. Again, the ship docks slap bang in the centre of where you need to be. Walk down the gangway. I would probably recommend you go off to see the fish market first thing, because when you go off in the morning, then you come back, it's disappeared. And then do the funicular up to the top to take your pictures of the ship. Back on board the ship to appreciate your last day on board her before she arrives back into Southampton.
Now, there's lots of information to share with you. There's limited availability on these cruises. You can imagine very popular. If you'd like to upgrade to balcony, well, you can do that for just as little as £19 per person per night, and that is if you take the 29th of April date. You've got free inside to outside upgrade if you decide to go on the 19th of May trip, and we have got dates available for you in April, May, June, August and September. And as you heard Paul say, you can actually add one night at the Holiday Inn in Winchester as well if you'd like to, for just £95 per person. So there are lots of reasons to go for this. Listen to this. This cruise will cost you under £88 per person per night. And if that one really interests you, write down the ID number. There's a cruise ID number. You can share this with the team. Phone number's at the bottom of the screen. It's free to call the team, 0808 250 2662. Or, of course, you can go to the website. I would always say call the team. If you've got any questions, have a chat with them. And they'll make your holiday bespoke. So if you're thinking, oh, I would like that Holiday Inn, or I would like this, or I would like that, or I wonder if, call the team and ask your questions. So your ID number is 124986, and I will personally recommend that cruise to you. Again, I cruised for many years, working, and the Fjords is one of my all-time favourites. And if you've ever thought, oh, I'd love to go to Alaska, but that's out of your reach, or you don't like the idea of flying all the way over there, go to the Fjords. It is amazing. Did you see the blue ice? That is the colour of the ice. You think it would be white, but it's actually blue. So if you get a chance, go to the Fjords. Really worth considering. Now we're going to move on to our next cruise, and this is the one that Paul was telling us. There is a brand new ship, and I'm very glad to introduce you to a lady that's joining us from MSC, and she's actually been on the ship already. This is Alicia. I'm going to lean over and grab a kiss.
Hi.
How are you, my lovely?
I'm good, thank you.
Good to see you. Before we get going, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the brand itself. Tell us a little bit about MSC.
So MSC, we've been around since about 2002. We currently have a fleet of 12 amazing ships, but we've got 11 new ships on order.
11 new ships on order?
And the first one came in last week, so
yeah.
She was christened last week in Le Havre. But MSC, we originated in the Mediterranean. So there's a lot of sort of the Mediterranean flavours on board. It's, if you like to go on holiday in Sorrento or Venice or Tuscany, then MSC Cruises is definitely a choice that we would recommend for you.
Great. Well, Paul actually has been on the ship, and we've got a video of that, so rather than tell you what the ship's like, let's take a moment to have a look at it.
3 years in the planning, 26 months in construction, 35,000 tons of steel, and ushering in a new style of ship to MSC Cruises. Meraviglia arrives fully loaded with everything you could ever want in a family-orientated cruise ship, packed with incredible visuals throughout her impressive 19-passenger decks. However, the crown and glory has to be the 2-deck inside promenade, topped with a huge LED dome. From simple interior rooms all the way through to the incredible royal suites of the MSC Yacht Club, the choice of cabins on board Meraviglia is truly amazing. The ocean view cabins come with large picture windows, whilst the balconies and family cabins offer you the taste of the outdoor. For a taste of luxury, why not try a suite or a duplex? Both come loaded with more space than the standard options, or for the ultimate that MSC have to offer, there's always the Yacht Club. With a choice of 12 dining options, you could eat at a different venue every night. If you're a fan of Italian food, then Eatery Ristorante Italiano is definitely the place for you. Steak lovers need to head along to the Butcher's Cut, an American-style steakhouse serving select cuts of meat from around the world. If you prefer surf rather than turf, then check out Kayeto's Teppanyaki restaurant and sushi bar. For those of you with a sweet tooth, head along to Jean-Philippe Moret's chocolate bar, where skilled chocolatiers create sweet masterpieces. If you prefer something a little bit more spectacular, then how about a Cirque du Soleil show? In the Carousel Lounge, you'll get just that, where you can be amazed by the acrobats while you enjoy spectacular dining options. With dedicated clubs for babies, juniors and teens, and with partnership with Lego and Chico, it will feel like a home away from home for your little ones. If you love nothing more than spending your time splashing about in the water, then check out the Polar Aqua Park with 3 twists and slides, the Himalayan Bridge, and a host of activities for all ages.
Now, one of the things that was important to me, because I worked in the entertainment department on the ship, was the shows. What sort of shows have you got on board?
So we've got 2 main theatres on board. The first is sort of the traditional theatre, where it's a lot of West End, Broadway style shows.
Nice.
Very visual, very entertaining. But what I am really pleased about and excited about is the Cirque du Soleil performances, which is in the Carousel Lounge. So 6 days a week we will have Cirque du Soleil performers in there.
The Cirque du Soleil, like the one that's in Las Vegas?
Yeah, the Cirque du Soleil. So Cirque du Soleil have created 2 exclusive shows which will be shown on Meraviglia, and they'll be shown 2 nights a week, 6 days. I'm sorry, two nights a day, two nights, 2 shows a night, 6 days a week.
Now, the name of the ship, what is it? Meraviglia.
Meraviglia.
Does that got meaning? Does it mean anything?
So it stands for wonder in Italian. So
Wonder,
she's the 8th wonder of the world.
Ah, clever. And you were saying that there's 11 more ships coming?
Yes. So
aren't you going to be like filling the oceans with people? Isn't it going to be?
Well, there's still room for a lot of growth in the cruise industry. And
really?
As you were saying earlier, there's a cruise for everybody, so it's just about picking the right one. And there's a lot of people that haven't experienced MSC, especially in the UK, but we know as soon as they go on board they're going to love it and want to book again and again and again.
That is amazing, isn't it? Come on, I'm being told we've got to keep moving because there's so much to share with you, but lots to see about this. Now, you've heard about Cirque du Soleil already. This is the maiden season, brand new, what, 2 weeks old?
Yep, just under 2 weeks old.
Right.
So she's the ship for all seasons, so she's based in the Mediterranean, and with us saying she's the ship for all seasons, she has retractable roofs, so if the weather's not fantastic you can still swim, you still feel like you're outdoors.
Yeah.
So she's perfect for Western Mediterranean throughout the whole year.
Well, talking to the Med, let's take a moment now to go on the itinerary so you can see where you'll be going. Paul, do you want to take us through the itinerary?
Yeah, sure. So we fly you from the UK. We do have a choice of UK airports to get you there and back. We land in Barcelona, which is going to be our home port, where we embark this impressive ship. She really is phenomenal. We set sail from Barcelona and then we're heading over to Marseille, where we're going to be cruising through to France. It is absolutely beautiful, renowned metropolitan area and one of the most renowned and populated areas of France, after Paris and Lyon, would you believe it. Some stunning scenery and a great opportunity for you to appreciate the ship as you make your way along to Marseille. So setting sail from Marseille, we then make our way on to Genoa. Genoa is a fantastic place. It's very densely populated. There's a medieval labyrinth of streets which you can actually lose yourself in amongst about there. Fantastic to take the families ashore. One thing I will underline with MSC, they are amazing with family cruises. So they have incredibly well-designed cabins all located next to one another on board the actual ship itself. Great opportunity which you can take from Genoa down to Portofino. This is probably the epitome of where the millionaires actually play and tender all of their beautiful luxury yachts there. Then from Genoa we head on to Rome from the port of Civitavecchia. Civitavecchia, not the prettiest of ports, but it's our gateway to the Eternal City. Here you've got a myriad of different things that you can do. The Vatican, St. Peter's Square, the Spanish Steps, Trevi Fountain, all of which our team at Planet Cruise will be happy to make sure that you maximise your time in this wonderful city. You really, one day isn't long enough to appreciate all that Rome has to offer. Making our way from Rome, we then head on to Palermo. Again, Sicily's greatest concentration of sites, biggest historic centre in Italy, bar Rome. Palermo is a complex, there's a multi-layered port of call which you've got. Again, we're happy to point you in the right direction as to what you can make your way on to. Then we go to see the Maltesers in Malta, the port of La Vieta,
Yeah,
an absolutely beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful
beautiful
port of call with the most gracious and hospitable people who actually live on that particular island. It's a UNESCO protected World Heritage Site, and again where the ship docks, you can walk down the gangway and you are slap bang into the centre of where you need to be. One day at sea to appreciate all that Meraviglia has to offer. One thing I would probably recommend that you do when you're on board the ship is take the drinks package. It's only £140 per person to upgrade to this. That works out at about £20 per person per night. And basically that means if you have a pre-dinner gin and tonic, a couple of glasses of wine and a nightcap afterwards, you've already recuperated that. And what's more, on that day at sea, just before you head back into Barcelona, you'll get the opportunity to make the most of not only that, but also the entire ship itself.
Let me run through some of the goodies that you can bear in mind here. This is the maiden season, brand new ship, and as you heard Alicia say, Cirque du Soleil, the Vegas guys are on board. Upgrade to the all-inclusive restaurant and bar drinks package from £140 per person, 7-night cruise, that's £20 per night, brilliant value for money. You can add on a 2-night pre-cruise stay in a 4-star hotel in Barcelona if you'd like, just £50 per person, and of course you've got return flights from London, plus all your overseas transfers. Your ID number for that one is 137198. You don't have to pay the $529 per person tonight, you just put down the deposit. So really consider that. And you can see some of the prices. You've got the choice of inside, outside and balcony cabins. Dates available in November, December and January, February of next year. The number to call is 0808 250 2662. Free to call the team. They're waiting for your calls right now, or of course you can go to the website. I always say call them, because that way if you've got any questions, if you want the cruise to be bespoke to your needs, or there's something you'd like to ask about, you can talk to the team. And I would say, come on, at that price, £20 per person per night, add the drinks package, and you can see that's unlimited consumption of the alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, including wine by the glass. So take full advantage of it. Alicia, let me take the opportunity to thank you for coming in. Really appreciate that, because it's nice to hear from somebody that's actually been on the ship and can tell us everything that's going on.
Thank you for having me. She is a stunning ship. She's definitely the best ship that I've ever set sail on.
Oh, I'm sure it's really exciting times, isn't it? Now we are going to move on to our next cruise. We're moving on to NCL next, Norwegian Cruise Line, Norwegian Caribbean Cruises they're often called. This is a premium cruise, so it's going to be an all-inclusive one. This is quite special because this is going to give you an opportunity, first of all, to go to Niagara Falls. How cool would that be? Niagara Falls, then you get to see some New York, and then you're going to get to the Caribbean. So let's take a moment to talk about that before we get onto the cruise ship. Paul?
Okay then, so we're going to fly you out from the UK. Again, speak to the team and we'll do our best to make sure we get the best airport from the UK to get you out there. The great option is with this is with the time difference which we've got, we take off the same day and we land the same day. So we'll touch down into Niagara. You then got a private transfer which will pick you up from the airport, take you to your hotel, which is going to be your place and your base for the next 2 nights when you're out there. Here you've got a fantastic opportunity to go off and see one of the natural wonders of the world. Talking of wonders, there's another one that we're talking about this evening. Niagara Falls. Great opportunity for you to go behind the falls if you choose to do so. Now, after we've had our stay in Niagara, we've got a fantastic way of getting you down to New York. Again, this is one of the must-dos that people do tend to tick the boxes of the bucket list with, and it's the Amtrak train. So we leave Niagara around about 10 o'clock in the morning. We train you, cross the border into the United States, and then off we go, and then we arrive into New York around about 7 p.m. we arrive into New York. Jump in a cab, I'll take you to your hotel, which is going to be your home for the next 3 nights. Again, let's not forget, these hotel stays are all included.
It's amazing.
You're on a room-only basis, and to be honest with you, the hotels which we use are located slap bang in the centre of New York itself. So here you've got so much that you can go off and see. The New York Hotel, you've got the Empire State, One World Observatory, Top of the Rock, Staten Island, Statue of Liberty. One thing we do tend to do is we can offer bespoke excursions for you during your 3-day times which you've got in New York. But we haven't even got to the cruise part yet. We've been in Canada, we've made our way down to the Big Apple, then we wake up in the morning and then it's time for your private transfer to pick you up from the hotel, and it's going to take you down to your ship, which is the Norwegian Gem.
Well, let's take a moment then before we do anything else to actually see the ship itself. And I'm glad to say that we were lucky enough to get Keith and Glenn. You probably recognise them because they've been on the show many times, but Keith and Glenn were on board. Watch this.
If your idea of a cruise is dim lighting, string quartets, tuxedos and ballroom dancing, then prepare to be challenged, because this cruise line is so laid back, it's almost horizontal.
Welcome to the most fun and relaxed cruise experience you're ever likely to encounter, where the entertainment never stops and the excitement just keeps on building. Welcome to freestyle cruising. Welcome to Norwegian Cruise Line. There's more restaurants than days of the week, and you can enjoy food from all over the world and dine and dress as you please. From trendy French bistros to steakhouses and sushi bars, Norwegian Cruise Line offers tons of choice. If you're a vegan, vegetarian, high carb, low carb, or gluten free, it's all covered.
Remember, this is freestyle cruising, so wherever your mood and whatever the occasion, there'll be a bar that fits the bill. With sports bars and whiskey bars, martini bars and champagne bars, alfresco bars and wine bars, bars with music and bars with sport, even ice bars. One thing's for sure, you definitely won't go thirsty.
Imagine playing Nintendo Wii on a 2-story high screen, or challenging a friend on the all-new Aqua Racer. Visualise eating world-class cuisine while acrobats tumble down on silks around your table. Or simply enjoying a beer as comedians make you smile with dedicated comedy clubs. Picture yourself singing along as dueling pianos compete, or settling into your own seat for one of the Tony Award-winning shows. Whether you're a single cruiser, holidaying with all the family, or planning a group cruise, you'll find something perfect for you.
Norwegian Cruise Line offers one of the widest selections of accommodation in the industry. There are exclusive suites where you have your own private sun deck, along with brilliant inter-joining family staterooms that are cleverly located near all the kids' facilities, and balcony staterooms where you wake up to a different view every morning. But it's in the studio staterooms where Norwegian are head and shoulders above the competition.
I think you'll agree the ship looks amazing. So let's take a moment right now to go on the itinerary, because obviously we've already been to Niagara Falls, you've had the opportunity to enjoy New York, so now we're making our way to the Caribbean.
Yeah, and I don't think you could get it any more relaxed and chilled out as we set sail from New York. Let's not forget, New York sailing in and out of is probably one of the most iconic sailing in and out that you will ever get around the world. So it's something very special as you wave goodbye to the Statue of Liberty and you say hello to San Juan in Puerto Rico, an incredibly popular Caribbean island, not often visited by a lot of cruise lines, so it's great to see it as a welcome addition onto this particular itinerary. You can go off and explore the cobblestoned old San Juan itself, loads for you to see and plenty for you to do. These beautiful, colourful Spanish colonial buildings which lace the 16th century landmarks all the way along the main street of Puerto Rico. So sailing from Puerto Rico, we then make our way off into St. Thomas. Now this is paradise for those people. One of the best pieces of advice I would always say to anybody who goes onto this island is keep your credit card under close wraps, because it's a great place to do some shopping. But also buy yourself a snorkel and mask, because you can go to some of the most beautiful and exquisite beaches which you will find in the Caribbean, and see the water life, under the sea life. It's absolutely teeming with all different fish of different shapes, colours, sizes. Now moving on from St. Thomas, we then head on to Philipsburg in St. Martin. It's ruled by two flags over this tiny island, the French and the Dutch. Again, where we dock, slap bang in the centre of where you need to be, so you can go off and do a spot of shopping if you wanted to do so. Alternatively, you can go off and appreciate one of the beautiful Caribbean beaches which we've actually got there. Then on to my own personal favourite of all of the islands that we go to out in the Caribbean, Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. One thing that you are guaranteed there is an incredibly warm welcome. The main thing everybody wants to go off and see is the Virgin Gorda. It is an absolutely fantastic natural phenomenal which you've got there. The beauty and the upscale resorts which you've got there. It's famous for the Bitter End Yacht Club there, absolutely stunning. Or you may want to disappear off to Pusser's Landing, again one of the must-dos which you have to do when you're on the island of Tortola. What's more, we then get back on the ship and we've got 2 days to appreciate all that Norwegian Cruise Line has to offer. And for those of you who've never cruised with Norwegian Cruise Line before, they offer on all of their cruises, irrespective of the cabins which you're going, premium drinks packages. Wow. So that includes all of your drinks when you're on board, also all of your gratuities as well. Nice. So really all that you need to do is get on board and appreciate all that she has to offer.
Well, let me take a moment to go through exactly what you'll get for your money. And again, bear in mind this is going to be coming in at under £120 per person per night. And you've got New York, you've got the Caribbean. It's just tremendous value for money. So as Paul just said, premium all-inclusive. So you've got your drinks, your service charges, your gratuities, all included. So no extras that you've got to worry about or think in the back of your mind, or I need to put a couple of £100 to one side. It's all included. 2 nights stay in a 4-star hotel at Niagara Falls, 3 nights stay in a 4-star hotel in Manhattan, not just New York, but right there in Manhattan, which is phenomenal. Return flights from London, you've got the Amtrak train ticket and selected overseas transfers included as well. And the itinerary, when it says it differs, it is sometimes it does it in a slightly different order. That's all it is. So very, very simple. Again, talk to the team so you know exactly what you're getting for your money. But this is brilliant opportunity. This is deposit only, so don't be thinking, oh blimey, I've got to find £1,000 more. No, deposit only is all we're talking about. Let's go through the cabin prices and you can see a lot of choices here, inside, outside, balcony, mini suite and even a haven suite available for you. Dates available in October, November, December, January, February and March of next year. Let's go through what that premium all-inclusive package is so you can really see what's included. And again, this is all of the ships now that we're talking about. For adults, you've got a wide choice of the premium beverages. You've got your beers, bottled beers are included as well, which is brilliant. Children get all their adolescents and soft drinks included, waters included, service charges and all tips included. So just making life a lot easier. Your specialty coffees are included too, and a bottle of water per person per day provided in your stateroom. So it is brilliant. Now, some of you might be saying, listen, this all sounds brilliant, but you know, that's 16 nights in total. I've never been on a cruise. Could you do a little taster for me? Paul, there's a mini cruise available as well, isn't there?
Yeah, Norwegian Cruise Lines, for those who've never actually sailed with Norwegian Cruise Line before, we've got a brilliant opportunity to go off and explore one of their ships which they've got. It's a little mini cruise which we've got. It's Southampton to Hamburg. It's a 2-night premium all-inclusive, so once you get on board, everything's in. 20th of June, she set sail from Southampton. You've got inside cabins from as little as £279 per person. You couldn't even get a London city break for that.
20th of just like next week.
Correct, so you've got to be quick.
So if you fancy a little break next week, get on the phones now, talk to the team, find out what cruising's all about. I bet if you take that cruise, you'll want to call back as soon as you get back on land. You'll call them up and say, book me in for a 10-day, book me in for a 16-day.
And just remember, free upgrade from outside to balconies, but that is limited. So you are going to have to move incredibly quick. So give any of the team a call and they'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction.
So that's NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line. We're going to move on to Costa Cruises now. I'm lucky enough to have worked there 6 years myself. It was phenomenal. In fact, 2 of those years were out of Puerto Rico, and I can tell you Puerto Rico is an amazing island. I absolutely love it. I'm confident you'll love it too. But Costa Cruises, this is a very different cruise we're talking about here. Now we've got the opportunity to get you down to Greece. So before we do anything else, let's take a moment to see what that ship would look like, because I think you're going to absolutely love it. This particular ship is called the Luminosa. Now, when I was on ships, this wasn't around. This is one of the newer ones.
Yeah, she has got beautiful lines. Everything that you would expect from an ocean cruise ship. Classy, stylish, Mediterranean at-sea vibe that she has on board. She's not one of the biggest ships which you'll find out there, which means that you do have to move incredibly quick. Maximum capacity, she carries around about 2,800 passengers which you've got on board. 2 pools that you've got to play around with on board as well. About 92,000 tonnage which she's got. So not a big ship. They sell Costa Cruises all over the world. So when we go to bed, the Australian market is waking up. Again, so they fill their ships from people from all over the planet. So you need to sharpen your elbows, get to the front of the queue to ensure that you get on board this particular ship. She is absolutely stunning.
So you've seen the ship herself. That's your home. Think of that as being your home for the week. But we're off to Greece, Croatia and Montenegro. But we're going out of Venice, aren't we? We're going to be coming out of Venice.
Again, I mean, I was talking there about New York being one of the beautiful sailing in and sailing out. Venice ranks right up there with New York. Absolutely stunning. A great place to actually start your cruise. But don't feel that you just have to fly out to Venice, get on board the ship. Any of the team, we can offer a pre-embarkation stay in Venice. 2 nights, which you can have for as little as £99 per
You've got to add
person.
that, haven't you?
Well,
You've got to add it.
You'll be a fool not to be brutally honest with you. Then we get on board the ship, and then you've got that iconic sailing out of Venice as then you make your way down to Bari. Bari is a beautiful little port of call that you can go off. Again, explore independently. Do be aware, though, it's very, very easy to lose yourself in the labyrinth of streets which they've actually got there as well. Plenty for you to see and plenty for you to do. It's one of the biggest ports of call which you've got on the Adriatic coast, and it's the capital of the Italian region of Puglia. Then we've got a day at sea to appreciate all that the ship has to offer, and then it gets into the waters which I personally enjoy the most. We arrive into Athens, which is from the port of Piraeus. The main thing everybody wants to go off and see and do with this one is the Parthenon and the Acropolis, which you have there as well. One of the main highlights. And I think the lovely thing is with this particular cruise, she set sail on the 9th of December, and it's a great time to go off and see it because it's in the cool afterglow of summer. You'll avoid all of the masses. It's a great little break before you build yourself up for the onslaught of the Christmas break and also seeing in the new year as well. Setting sail from Athens, we then arrive onto Katakolon in Olympia in Greece. Again, a very pretty port of call, walking distance into the heart of the city, of the port of call itself. But the main thing everybody wants to go off is to see the ancient site where the Olympics were originally started. This is absolutely breathtaking, and a shore excursion I would thoroughly recommend that you take, because you really do need the guides to bring it all to life. Setting sail from Katakolon, we then go on to Kotor in Montenegro. Now, again, this is one that I would recommend that people get up first thing in the morning to appreciate the sailing in. The sailing in is very similar to the Norwegian Fjords, which we were talking about with P&O. Beautiful sailing in which we've got. But the city itself, you're in the land of where they've done a lot of the filming for Game of Thrones. So King's Landing was best part of the shots were all filmed up on this particular stretch of the Adriatic coast. From Kotor, Montenegro, we've appreciated the sailing in and sailing out. We then make our way to Split. Split is spitting distance away from Dubrovnik, so again a major port of call which a lot of people go off in to go off and see. And then sailing from Split, we then make our way back into Venice. So not only do you have that sailing out, you also have the sailing back in. And what's more, on a beautiful ship such as the Costa Luminosa.
Yeah, I had a great time there. I personally recommend them to you. They are amazing. Let's go through what's included so you can see what great value for money this is. Again, dates available in November and December, so you could be thinking of pre-Christmas cruise. You can add 2 nights in Venice before the cruise for just £99 per person. That's really worth considering. And of course that'll give you a chance to chill out and relax before you make your way around the Mediterranean. You can upgrade to dining drinks package from just £80 per person. And bear in mind, it's for a 7-night cruise, so it's very, very, very affordable. It's really worthwhile considering. Return flights from London plus all your overseas transfers. Regional flights are available. There is a supplement for that, but it's very affordable. So again, that's why I recommend you call the team. 0808, free to call the team, 250-2662, and that'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions you might have. Your ID number for this one is 151893. Here you can see you've got inside, outside and balcony cabins through November and December. Any of those prices are incredibly affordable, and that works out at under £72 per person per night. Under £72. Think what you get in the UK. A hotel, if you could easily pay a hotel £72 and not get any food, not get any entertainment, certainly not be travelling to a different port of call. So it's brilliant value for money. Well, let's go to one of the great British cruise lines, certainly one of the favourites for our customers. This is Thomson Cruises. We're going to be going to the Majesty right now. In fact, we'll show you a video. Paul, I wonder if I could get you to talk over this so we know what we're looking at.
Sure, no problem at all. Thomson Majesty, I love Thomsons and everything that they do. I think they do a fantastic job of looking after their passengers. She's not the biggest ship in the fleet, but by she's no means the smallest. She only carries just over 1,000 passengers on board. You've got the normal selection of cabins, you've got inside, outside, also as well a small selection of balconies. She's not one of the new ships, so you do need to move relatively quickly to secure them ones there. Oh, I do beg your pardon, no balconies on board her, I do beg your pardon.
Okay.
You've also got the junior suites as well, so there is a very limited amount of them on board the ship itself. She does a great job. All of the entertainment which you would expect, they cater specifically for the British market, so they know the clientele which they're catering for. They've got a great selection of kids clubs activities on board, the traditional afternoon teas which we're all being used to, oodles of places for you to go off and enjoy a cocktail or a drink, a pre-dinner drink, and also all of the entertainment, the spa facilities which you have on board the ship itself. And great prices. And what's more with Thomson's, they do a fantastic job of regional flights to get you there and get you back. So we have flights which stretch from Scotland all the way down to the south coast. But as always, availability is incredibly limited with all of these flights which you actually have with it. But a great option, a fantastic opportunity for you to appreciate one of the most well-loved ships which is within the Thomson fleet.
Yeah, there's all sorts to consider here. You can get a free upgrade from inside to outside if you go on the 24th of October, so that's really worth considering. And of course, because you're going through Planet Cruise, lots of exclusive discounts available to you too. Here's one thing worth bearing in mind. There's a very low deposit on this. It's just £75 per person. So if you're thinking, I might go on this one could be, what a great introduction to cruising too. So we're going to be flying from Bournemouth. And we're going to be taking you to
Palma de Mallorca. That is her home port. A beautiful port of call in itself. The ship actually doesn't set sail till around about 11 o'clock at night.
Nice.
And the lovely thing is with Thomson's, they have really reasonable flight times. So you'll get a chance to touch down in Palma. They'll then meet and greet you at the airport, take you down to the ship. All of your luggage is carried up on board. You'll get yourself checked in. And what's more, you can walk along the promenade to the beautiful cathedral which overlooks the majestic bay of Palma de Mallorca. Once on board, we then appreciate all the ship has and say goodbye to Palma. We have a late sailing, so it's great to have a glass of some bubbles as you wave goodbye to the island of Mallorca. We then have a day at sea, a great opportunity for you to get your bearings on board the ship and appreciate all that she has to offer. Our next port of call that we're heading to is Trappiano in Sicily. Not a regular port of call because it does restrict the size of the ships, and the great thing is with Thomson Majesty, she's one of them ships that do get into all of the nooks and crannies that sometimes the bigger ships actually can't get off and do and appreciate. So we have a full day in Trappiani and then we set sail to Sorrento. Now, this port of call has very, very, very special memories for me. An absolutely beautiful place for you to go off and see.
What happened?
That would be telling.
I had to ask her,
But
didn't
one
I?
of the viewers knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is absolutely beautiful. It's stylish. It's incredible. It really, really is.
Yeah,
You could jump on the ferry across to Capri if you wanted to do so. You've got facing the Bay of Naples. It is something really, really, really special. We then head back to one of the firm favourites, which is making our way onto Rome. Again, Civitavecchia is our home and our port of call. Again, you can go off and explore the Eternal City, the Spanish Steps, which you can go and see, the Trevi Fountain, which we have there as well. Again, a great selection of tours. You can either go off and explore independently, or if you want your hand held throughout the whole process, we can offer some fantastic options for you to do that here at Planet Cruise.
Then, of course, we go to Corsica.
Corsica, Propriana, again, a very, very picture-perfect port of call that we go into. Some of the ships need to tender in for this one. Thomson Majesty gets in right alongside. Plenty for you to go off and see and do here. A really, really nice little port of call to appreciate it at a leisurely pace, because let's not forget the day before you've had a full day's worth of sightseeing in Rome, Civitavecchia. Moving on from Propriana, we then make our way into Mahon, which is in the island of Minorca, where I started my hazy days of working and travel all those many moons ago. I'm sure they still whisper my name in hushed and dark corners there. But it is, sailing into Mahon is beautiful. It is the second largest natural, deepest port of call in the world, the first of which actually being Pearl Harbor. Famous for its Joraga gin. The distillery is actually located right next to where the ship actually docks itself. But of course you can make your way into the capital of Mahon, or otherwise known as Mayho. And their biggest claim that they actually have is that they were the ones who actually made mayonnaise. But the French will have something to say about that. After a wonderful day in Mahon, we then head back home to our port of call, which is Parma, where you'll find the coaches are waiting to take you back for your flight back to the UK. And so endeth another fantastic cruise on Thomson Majesty.
Well, let's just take a moment to see the ship once again, because Thomson's always very, very, very popular, and it should be. Bear in mind, we've got some exclusive discounts here from Planet Cruise. So it works out at under £95 per person per night, which is brilliant value for money. Today, just a £75 deposit. Your tips are included too. If you go on October the 24th, you'll get a free upgrade from an inside cabin to an outside cabin. You'll get an upgrade to the all-inclusive from just £10 per person per night, so it's brilliant value for money. And if you wanted to, you can add 7 nights in Mallorca as well for just £269 per person. So as you can see here, all tips included. These are exclusive discounts. There's your £10 per person per night to go all-inclusive, which I certainly recommend at prices like that. Your free return flights from Bournemouth, free upgrade from the inside to the outside, as I've already told you, and of course you can add on that 7-night hotel as well. Your ID number for this one is 119684. Here are all your prices, lots of choices here. So October 10th and October 24th, and you've got inside, outside, deluxe, balcony and junior suite as well. So lots of choices available to you. Well, we're going to move on to our 6th cruise. This is the last one, and this is slightly different. When we talk cruising, most people expect us to talk about going to sea, ocean-going cruises. But the next one is on a river. Now, I think many of you watching right now will probably have this as a bucket list cruise. The chances are, if you love the idea of getting out to the Far East, this is certainly the way to go, because of course the ship's going to be your home. You can have the opportunity to sail, but you will be sailing on a river. We're going to take you to Viking cruises, and in fact we go to Shanghai.
Yeah, I mean, Viking is the world's leading river cruise operator, which we've got here, and this has historically been our best-selling river cruise that we actually do with Viking. So people need to move incredibly quick. We fly you from the UK out to Shanghai, and there you get a chance to appreciate 2-night stay in Shanghai itself. Now, the great thing is with Viking, you have your representatives who will take care of you throughout the whole process. Excursions are included Also on the overland tour element of it, the best way I can describe this cruise is there's a bookend at the beginning with a stay in Shanghai and a bookend at the end when we arrive in Beijing, and Viking will take care of you throughout the whole process.
That looks amazing.
2 days to appreciate everything which you've got in Shanghai, and then what we then do is Viking will take you for your transfer to the airport, where we fly you to Wuhan, where you'll find the Viking Emerald is waiting for you.
Should we have a look at the ship then? Maybe let's have a look at this. Maybe you can talk over the top of this for us, Paul.
Yeah, the thing is with river cruising, it is the fastest growing sector of the UK cruise market.
Wow.
Everybody wants a piece of river cruising, but when you're doing something as magnificent as this, you have to move very quickly, because Vikings sell all over the world, and everybody wants to do this. And with a ship that only carries 256 guests on board, there is only 128 cabins which are up for grabs. Now, when you're on board the ship, all of your excursions are included, you've got your tips included, and also with this particular one as well, we're also giving you the silver drinks package. So once you get on board the ship, pretty much everything is taken care of. Your drinks package, your excursions. You've got all of these wonderful cruise directors who sail with you and give you the briefing as to what to expect the following day when you arrive in the port of call. Something really, really special to behold is Viking River Cruises.
I mean, when you hear the term river cruise, I don't know what you imagine the ship to look like, but as you can see, it's luxury, and I love the fact that there's so few passengers there. I mean, it's like going to an exclusive hotel that happens to float.
Correct. A lot of people describe river cruising as a city break, where your hotel moves from city to city, and all you ever have to do is unpack once. And with Viking, you're actually doing it with some of the very, very best when you're on board.
Now, bear in mind, on this cruise, you can actually save up to £1,000 per person, but that offer does end June the 30th, so you've literally just got a few more days remaining on this. Take advantage.
I really cannot underline that enough. I mean, them deals will come to a close on the 30th of June, so you need to move very, very quickly with it. When you see the itinerary and all that she's got to offer, you'll understand why.
Should we do the itinerary?
Yeah,
let's go on the trip.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that we need to talk about. We really would not do this cruise justice, so give one of the guys a call on the number which is on the screen. They'll talk it through you. So we arrive in Wuhan. You'll have, on a full board basis, when you're on board the ship itself, here you'll get off to see some of the provincial museums which you hear. You'll have the music of the ancient bronze bells as you wake up, as dawn slightly breaks over the actual horizon itself. You'll hear the bong of the bells, as you'll find that people will make their way to some of these wonderful temples which you've actually got. Setting sail from Wuhan, we've got about 2 days there, so it really gives you an opportunity to appreciate all that she has to offer. Now, the great thing is there's some stunning scenery which you will see as you set sail down the river itself, so that you drink it, and every cabin which we've actually got on board the ship all comes with a balcony, so you can actually step out and take in all of these wonderful sights.
And I think that's something you'll do, isn't it? You'll sit out on your balcony, you will enjoy the views, just let life sail by.
The scenery which you've got as you set sail, and let's not forget, it's not just necessarily about the scenery, some fantastic things that you're going to see, for example, such as the Three Gorges Dam which we've got in China. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the engineering feat which has been put into this, quite a controversial subject out there, but you know, it's something that if you want to see and do and appreciate, you really cannot take away from the engineering work which is actually done into this itself. Not only do we see the Three Gorges Dam, we also get to see the lesser Three Gorges Dam. But you've got around about 150 miles travelling through the most scenic stretches of the Yangtze. It is absolutely stunning. Viking will take very good care of you. As I mentioned before, you normally get a briefing before you go down for dinner, which tells you what to expect as you make your way down the river itself. After we've seen the lesser Three Gorges Dam, we'll have to be careful with my pronunciation of this one, Shabatsia. They're making me work for this one this evening. Again, this gives you a chance to go off and see the temples, the 12-storey pavilion, which was built in 1650 along the Yangtze. Again, if you pick up any of the river cruise brochures which talk about Yangtze river cruising, this is one of the iconic scenes which you'll actually see, and it's incorporated on this particular cruise itself. setting sail from there, we've got some nice little pit stops as we make our way along. So we've got into Chongqing, where we disembark the ship, and then it's time to fly from the Yangtze onto Xi'an in China. Here again, you've got all of the tours which is incorporated, and as we make our way down to Beijing,
see the pandas. Will we see pandas?
Yes.
Oh,
and the only way to do this, I cannot underline this enough. You need to do the itinerary, which is going to be taking you from Shanghai down to Beijing. Right. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic to see, and it's that Viking really do it in style. You've got your stay in Beijing at the end. You can go off and see Tiananmen Square, which, would you believe it, can accommodate over 1 million people in one fell swoop.
That's unbelievable.
Absolutely fantastic. And then at the end of the stay, you can choose to extend your stay. You can choose to do it at the beginning of your cruise as well. Viking give you the option to do that for as little as from £329 per person. Something we would strongly recommend that you do, because to travel to the other side of the planet and to do something like this, you really do need to make the most of your time when you're out there. This is absolutely fantastic.
Let's just take a moment to look at the ship again, because this is going to be your home throughout the trip. And again, I think sometimes you think river cruise and you may not be thinking a cruise ship, but this is awesome. I mean, look at that. It's a hotel that happens to float.
And I think the great thing is with it, as I mentioned before, it's multinational passengers which we have on board. They cater for the Western palate when you're on. But it's fantastic to people watch. And you can be as sociable or as anti-sociable as you want to on a river cruise ship. You can appreciate the scenery from the privacy of your own balcony. You can go down to dinner. I think the lovely thing is with Viking, it's open dining when you have on board. So it's not one set table that you're stuck to. You can sit by the window for a table for two. You can go and sit with somebody else if you wanted to. You really will make the most of the ship and all that she has to offer.
Now it is deposit only. Deposit only, it's all that's required today, so please bear that in mind. Your ID number is 149873. We've got dates available for you March through November, and of course the free silver spirits drink package is included, plus you got up to £1,000 per person in savings. Those offers though do end 30th of June, so call the team. It's free to call the team. They're waiting for your call right now. 3-night hotel stay in Beijing, 2-night hotel in Shanghai, then you got your return flights from London, plus all of your overseas transfers. Selected regional flights are available. There is no extra supplement. So again, this is why I need you to call the team and have a chat with them. And when you think this is a bucket list cruise, you might well be thinking £300-400 per person per night. This is under £200 per person per night. In fact, it's closer to £190. So really consider this trip. It is a bucket list tour. It's phenomenal. Now you can see some of these are sold. I think I meant to say sold out, but that's apparently in Chinese. Sold out. Yeah, it should be sold out. Anyway, veranda, the main deck, the middle deck, the upper deck, and the Explorer Suite are available. Let's change that while we're ahead of the game. Here's our Silver Spirits. Here's our Silver Spirits beverage package. And drinks up to $15 included premium wines by the glass, cocktails and aperitifs, chef's table premium wine pairing, a mini bar, replenishments, and 15% discount on premium beverages above $50. So brilliant value for money. Now for those of you that have just joined us, that was the last of 6 cruises that Planet Cruise were able to bring us. There's the number. You might want to write that down, because unfortunately we are coming toward the end of the show. We've got about 4 minutes left with you. Of course, you can always go to the website, planetcruise.co.uk, but I would always say call the team, because that's when you're going to get all the information you want. And everyone that works for Planet Cruise has got first-hand experience of cruising. First-hand experience. They're not going to be guessing or if, but maybe. Now, let's go through some important information for you. If you'd like to go to the Planet Cruise holiday show, they're going to be available from 9:30 till 3 on Sunday the 25th of June. Paul, are you going to that?
I will be there along with the rest of the team, so it'll be nice to meet some of our people who speak to us on a very regular basis, and also all of these swarms of people who are coming to speak to Planet Cruise and book with us for the very first time. So we look forward to seeing you there.
And if those of you that have just joined us, let's remind you of the 6 cruises we looked at. You might want to write down the ID numbers. That's the easiest way to deal with this. Write down the ID numbers. So we started with P&O Cruises, which is where Paul spent many years, April through September 2018. Upgrade to the balcony cabin if you wish for £19 per person per night. That works out at under £88 per person per night, but it is limited availability. ID 124986. Then we went on to MSC. This is the brand new ship. It's going to be about, well, just launched last week. Dates available for you November through February. Don't miss out on these. This works out. It was phenomenal value for money. Remember, Alicia came in and told us lots of information about it, and you've got Cirque du Soleil on board as well. You can upgrade to the all-inclusive restaurant and bar drinks package as well for £20 per person per night. ID number on that, and it's deposit only, is 137198. Then we went on to NCL, Norwegian Cruise Line, and this was the trip, 16 nights. We took you to Niagara Falls, New York, and down to the Caribbean and back as well. So brilliant value for money. ID number is 122259, and that is deposit only. Then we moved on to Costa Cruises. I told you I've been there for 6 years, absolutely loved it. Under £72 per person per night. Beautiful ship as well. Look at that, from £499 per person. It's phenomenal value for money. There is a pranzo and cena package that you can get included, and this is wines that aren't on the list. You get soft drinks, beer and water included too, and that's at the restaurant or the buffet. Really worth considering. Thomson Cruises, under £95 per person per night. Exclusive discounts here from Planet Cruise. You get a free upgrade from the inside to the outside cabin too if you do the 24th of October trip. You're just going to put a £75 deposit down on that too. Your ID number on that one is 119684, and then of course that last one that Paul just shared with us is Viking River Cruises, and this is such a brilliant opportunity for you. ID number on here is 149873. That is deposit only too. Now, Planet Cruise, I was saying that everyone that works there has got first-hand experience with the cruises. So lots of people will have worked on the ship themselves, like yourself.
Yeah, we've spent lots of time on board. We speak to our passengers on a very, very regular basis. They give us some fantastic feedback once they've come off the ships as well. So, again, a lot of us have worked on board. We've been to visit the ships. We've sailed on board the ships as well. We do our research incredibly well. So, yeah, we look forward to speaking to everybody who calls to Planet Cruise.
And I think the thing that really makes it special for me is the fact that you can make it a bespoke cruise. So you talked through the presentation about how you can get extra few nights before the cruise, a few extra nights after the cruise. You can tweak it if you want to talk about shore excursions, and we can ask questions. So it's best to call.
Yeah, one thing that's always set in stone is we say the ship sails on this day and she ends at this day. What we do at the beginning and what we do at the end is entirely down to what our customers want. So we will always do our best to accommodate that.
Which is phenomenal for you. You really got the opportunity to make that a bespoke trip. Paul, let me say thanks to you.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure we're going to see you again very, very soon. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have. Now, write that phone number down, because that will be disappearing in a few moments' time. 0808 250 2662. And, of course, you can go and read more about the cruises. If you go to the Planet Cruise YouTube, if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll actually get the opportunity to see some of the cruise ships on there as well. And we spoke about your mum a little earlier. You said you took her on one of the cruise ships. Is she likely to be watching?
Oh, probably. Mr. and Mrs. Barnacle. We can never get them off. There goes another chunk of inheritance.
Thanks again, Paul. See you, Mum.